Hey there, welcome. So this is currently October.
Yeah, when this is coming out. I mean, it's September right now.
It's September right now?
Is it coming out in
Who
this
knows?
video would be coming out in October, I think.
I don't even know at
I think
this
it depends when we send it out. Anyway.
But hey, so either way, we've just finished editing episode 1.
Yay.
It's been quite the journey.
What a fun time.
I think editing has revealed far more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I will go through and I will cut these things and I will put them up and that will be that.
You will not discover any truths hidden within previous episodes.
But what's actually ended up happening is that I feel like I've unraveled more of the mystery than makes sense because I've spent so much time looking over it over and over again, doing second and third passes of editing each episode.
I've said it like 4 times. Ryushi intended for you to finish this episode and then go back to the previous ones. That's how he does his shit. Because you learned so much about the past episodes. Oh.
Yeah, so as you can see at the bottom of the screen right now, we are currently up to episode 3. We've actually just finished episode 3. But we're not going to talk about that first of all. We might do a bit of spoiler chat at the end.
Yeah.
But to start with, I just want to talk about the actual experience of playing and then editing this series. Like, I know a lot of people will just read through this once, get to the end and be like, oh, okay, that happened, and then maybe go reread it to see what happened. But we're doing this in a very unique way where we're actually going through and as we're playing, also editing. So all of these things that are becoming apparent and things that have happened in the past become relevant again.
Super fun.
And we're actually seeing them. So, I don't know, I think it was really interesting to see as we went on through the story how there were a lot of things that seemed to be said that were like offhand comments that ended up being pretty relevant.
Yep.
I don't think that was surprising in any way. I was certainly going in expecting that to be the case.
But you didn't see it the first time through is the point.
Yeah, you
right?
really didn't see it the first time
like,
through.
oh, this line's a bit weird. I wonder if it has any significance later. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like, you'll see definitely in later episodes as we go further on some things that I was, like, joking about and being like, wouldn't that be a funny thing if that was literal actually happened?
Yep, definitely.
Which is pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I certainly think for someone going through the story for the first time, going back and editing has been an absolutely indispensable experience. Like, a lot of people will go through this and, you know, I think they'd go through reading it like a book. They'd go through start to finish. But the fact that I've actually had to go back through has made this so much better of an experience for me. I think that for anyone out there who is watching the series or is reading through it and has kind of like stumbled upon our videos or whatever, you should go back and rewatch things, reread things. Like,
yeah, read it. Like, honestly, get the game, support Ryushi because he's a badass. Read through it yourself if you can, because like either listening to us make theories and then going back through yourself, or going through yourself for the first time and then coming back and rewatching us, like, is fucking invaluable. Because when I experienced the story, I went through it just once by myself. I didn't have a community to talk to. I didn't have anyone to theorize with, and I don't think my experience was as good as it could have been. I'm really glad that my friend Felix here and anyone else at home who has never experienced this story before has gotten to have this experience, because like, when I was going through it, I would like go back to important points in the episodes and look at them, but I didn't really look at all the minute details, look at all the scenes that the first time through I was like, oh, this isn't a scene that matters. I didn't really have that experience until I'd gotten much later in the novel and realized, oh, I need to go back and reread this because this is important stuff.
Yeah, and I think one of our friends, who goes by the name Panda, love you Panda, I think this is the second time we've given this shout out. Though this episode will be coming out before the other shout out we gave. But he asked us, like, I don't know, I really want to watch your playthrough, but I also want to actually read through the book myself, and we were like, do both. Both,
100%.
Because, you know, first of all, we're wonderful, of course, and we want
Oh yes.
Yes, we want to. But no, the point is more that you might think, oh, well, do I read it or do I watch it? Do both, because the experience of going through it twice is so much better than going through it once. Especially going through it concurrently, because even though there are a whole bunch of things that I reckon I've seen now in episode 1 that we still haven't got answers on, the fact that we have answers on other things that seemed innocuous in episode 1 means that there's actually a lot more room to think about the other innocuous things in episode 1.
And what's fun about that is that I know that when we get to the end of episode 4, episode 5, episode 6, we'll be coming back to episode 3 and being like, what were all the things that we thought weren't important in episode 3 that now we know are mind-blowing later on?
I mean, listen, at this point, nothing is unimportant, and it hurts because it means I have to pay attention to everything.
You absolutely do. They're like, oh, it's not a game, it's a sound novel. Fuck you, it's a game.
I knew from the beginning I was going to have to pay attention to everything and accept everything as being important, but oh my god, the actual scale of that task is...
It's intense.
It's pretty crazy.
This really is Ryukishi's magnum opus. Like, everything is important, nothing doesn't matter. Experience everything and try and embrace every part of this novel as much as you can.
I think the other thing to talk about is our performance through episode 1.
Oh yeah.
I think going into later episodes, I mean, first of all, because you came into this story like having voices that you were thinking about.
True. I do make fun of your voices a lot, but you don't know any of the characters. Yeah. I know them like the back of my fucking hand. So when I find Goda, I know I have to be flamboyant and loud. When I find Natsu, I know I have to be kind of a little bit standoffish, a little bit prudish. Like, I know all the voices.
Yeah, whereas for me, it's like I'm going in blind, and often we'll be playing through and Ben's like, you're this character, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, what does that mean?
Because I can't just say like, we're about to meet this character, you need to get a voice prepared. I can kind of say this is kind of what they're like, but I can't tell you exactly who they are.
Yeah, like, and this is how we ended up with voices like Jessica's and
Russian, and it's amazing.
Like that. Which, by the way, you might be thinking to yourself, gosh, that voice is so ridiculous, but
it's so perfect, though.
It only matches more the further we go in, and it's amazing.
I love Jessica.
I think the other thing is a lot of the times during... there were some scenes in this episode in particular where I was just so distracted by thinking about what was happening that I just kind of neglected to perform.
I feel that. It's a problem.
Shout out to Pictoshock. That episode that was shit, according to his beautiful comment.
Look, we were thinking real hard, okay? Come on, dude.
I mean, like, I think if we're gonna step forward and improve, we have to accept that our performance in episode 1 was...
Not as good.
Not as good as it gets going further in.
That Beatrice voice, though. Whoever voices her is just... 10 out of 10.
You spent way too much time practicing that voice. Yeah, and... I don't know, especially like you might have noticed at the second tea party of episode 1, Ben was saying cackle.
I know.
And just, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was on recording or directly after we stopped recording, but I was like, Ben, what the fuck was that?
I was not feeling up to it. Look, playing Beatrice is such
the whole thing is
such a thing.
Like, but I don't know he was like, I don't know how to cackle. And I'm like, did you hear yourself during the credits scene, sir?
Look, it was just nerves. Because honestly, for me, playing Beatrice, like, she is my favorite character in this entire story. She may be my favorite character fucking ever. She's so good. I love her. I just wanted to do her justice, and I failed in that moment. But I promise I make up for it going forward. I promise you.
It's good stuff. I
EP3.
think those of you who were turned off by our performances, absolutely, they're terrible. We're doing bad voices.
It's half the fun.
But that's half the fun, and I think the other half of the fun is actually getting to sit through and think through it with us. The only concern is like if we light onto something that you miss, maybe it's like a bit of a giveaway for you.
This is actually something that I've been talking about with some of the people in Rikkenjima, because the whole point of the discussion on the forums is like...
Let's be clear, you really need to stop doing this.
Rikkenjima.org. Oh my god, Rikkenjima.org. We've been talking about how there are theorists and there's all this community stuff going on, but there's someone who's like gotten onto something that they shouldn't have gotten onto, essentially. Something at the end of, I think it was EP2, they were like, this is the truth. And the mods were like, well, shit, this is like, they haven't cheated or anything. They've just figured something out that they shouldn't really know by this point in the story. There's a big discussion over whether that sort of thing should be modded out. Like, if someone figures out like significant truths, should we just cut that out of the spoiler-free discussion? But I think that the fact that you're going through it for the first time, I think that completely validates all of your theories. Even if you're 100% certain about any of them, you might even consider them spoilers. Like, I think that no matter what, you should be free to say them, and people should listen to them.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to change what I'm saying because I think the audience might be spoiled by it.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, that's what the audience is strapped in for.
Yep.
It's just, I'm more interested in how you think people might feel about that as we like play through. Like, if there's something that I light on that they are completely oblivious to you, do you think it'd be more valuable of an experience to them to read through the book first and come back to us?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board with that because it's a big theme. It's something that they talk about in later episodes a little bit more. But in Umineko, you're supposed to figure everything out by your own power. You're supposed to be able to. You're supposed to figure it out by yourself. That's half the fun. It's also the entire point that Rikushi's trying to get across. That mystery novels shouldn't be something that's kind of spoon fed to you. It should be something that you have to figure out. Something that you have to actually actively engage in, which Felix has done pretty fucking well. I think that the optimal way to experience a story would be to play through it and then watch our playthrough. But of course, due to budget and time constraints, that may not be possible. So
yeah, I mean, if you still want to watch through our playthrough, it's not...
Go for it.
It's not as the... Yeah, if you want to watch through it as your first experience, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because you're still actually playing through and getting the thought process. As a performer in this case, I'm very aware that I need to actually say things that are coming to my head.
Yep.
I'll occasionally ignore things that are just spitball ideas, because then we just bog down the show with very much slowing it down.
Yeah.
But... if you're sitting along with us as your first experience, I think we're doing our best to actually say everything that comes to mind.
Yeah. I also think that just because Ferg says something doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
So think critically about his theories. And if you have any responses, leave those in the comments. If you're like, oh, that theory doesn't make any sense because of this reason, throw it in the comment section and we'll discuss it with you. I think that'd be a great way to do it so that we can actually get some proper back and forth going.
Yeah.
Because everyone's opinion is valid. Everyone's interpretation is valid at the end of the day.
And also for our dear friend Aspiety, this will be the first upload chronological mention of his name.
Yay! We love you.
We are so sorry that
ignore me in the future. Just ignore me.
All of episode 1 and half of episode 2, we pronounced the character Kirie's name as Kairee.
Throw that image up on the screen. Throw it over her face. Kairee, there she is.
There she is. Oh,
beautiful.
What a beautiful face. So,
who made that image? I need to find out who that was.
It's like Aeshrit or something. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
I'm gonna find it out.
It's Aecherit is how you spell it.
All right, I'm gonna believe you.
So we did that. We're sorry. Aeshrit.
I don't know.
Either way, however you pronounce your name. Thank you for the wonderful Photoshop of Kairee, not Kairee. We're sorry to
Kairee.
anyone who is a long-standing fan of the series who had their emotions shattered by our use of that name.
Ooh.
And we're sorry that it continues for another few episodes.
Yeah, at least till halfway through EP2.
I'm pretty sure it's halfway through EP2. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It might actually be up to the beginning of episode 3, which hurts even more.
You know what? It's fine. We fix it eventually. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I suppose the other thing we might want to talk about now that we're talking about terrible things that we've done.
Oh God, what? What are we talking about? I'm concerned.
Of the voices we did this series, who was best? Who was worst?
Oh.
Who started best? Who ended worst? Who started worst? Ended best?
I mean...
I want to know your votes.
Oh my God. I can't even. Okay. I mean, obviously, the worst voice of the entire series is Ava. Clearly.
The start of Ava's voice.
Clearly Ava's... No, whole thing. Done. The worst voice.
Worst voice?
The best voice, I think, for you, I kind of want to say Kinzo. As much as I love Jessica's voice, I don't think he can top Kinzo's fucking... I think
also the real value of Jessica's voice comes in later on in the series.
Yeah.
But I
EP2.
I think especially the intro you gave me before we started, I knew nothing at the beginning of episode 1. You were like, this is a hammy old man.
Yep, he's a bit of a meme lord.
He's a bit crazy.
That's his thing. He's drunk, he's a meme lord.
Okay.
And he really loves Beatrice.
And I don't know. I think of all of the character descriptions you gave me, that was the only one where the moment I hit the voice, I was like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, it was perfect.
So first of all, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it, but I also completely agree. I think that is indeed my best voice in the series. As for you, I think, I don't know.
Best and worst, lay it on me.
I think
it's got to be Beatrice or Gerda.
Beatrice
clearly
is definitely the best.
Yes, that's what I was going for. That's
clearly because you practiced it too much.
It's true.
Definitely the lack of cackles in this episode hurt it, but
it's okay. It's only a 9.5 instead of a 10. It's fine.
Yeah. And as for your worst voice, I don't know. They're all pretty solid. I'd
probably lean towards I don't know, maybe Canon. not super proud of my canon voice. Everyone else I'm pretty okay with.
Yeah, canon. The thing is canon's like not bad. It's just uninteresting.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of his character, right?
Exactly. I was gonna say.
I feel like most of the voices, because as we've said, I've had time to kind of think about the voices. Every voice kind of tailors itself to the character. Like Genji, there's a big joke that Genji's kind of a robot, so I tried to make him more kind of static. Canon, I tried to make less interesting. Kairee, I kind of made a little bit cold. Rudolph is a sleazeball. Hideyoshi's just a good guy.
Yeah,
Natsu's,
but I think we've definitely had time to improve on all of those, and I think it definitely does get better as we go further on, which hopefully you guys will see and appreciate as well if you choose to stick with us, which I certainly hope you do.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I want to talk about is, I mean, we're kind of getting into spoilers, so I'll play a loud siren tone for those of you who are just listening to the audio.
I'm not going to keep doing that.
So hey, we're about to get into a little bit of spoilers here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try keep it spoiler light, but oh my god, watching through this episode, I didn't realize how little I understood things.
Yep.
Like the first Twilight happens on the first night, and the second Twilight happens like the second night.
Yep.
And I was like,
well, during the day, isn't it?
No. It's like the evening of the second day,
the
and
evening.
then everything just suddenly rushes
and then it
towards
just
a conclusion.
cascades, which is really weird. Because when I was reading back through it, I was like, all right, we're at the second Twilight, so we're like halfway through the novel, and then we only had like 2 episodes left. Like, it just so quickly ramps up. We get the second, third, fourth, and 5th Twilights in the same episode, or part rather, I should say.
Yeah, and
episode.
the thing that like got me though is the whole time you might hear me referring to like, okay, cool, so we have this many days left.
Yeah.
Because I thought the Twilights actually meant like the quantity of days, because the first Twilight was the first day, the second Twilight was the second day, and I'm like, cool, so we wake up tomorrow, the typhoon's still here, and then we get the next death. Or whatever.
Nope.
But nope.
Yeah, I mean, you originally thought that this was going to be like that we were going to lose all 18 of these people over the course of
all 8 episodes.
Of all 8 episodes, which to me, I was just kind of chuckling at that because I knew how this is going to go down. But yeah, it's got a really weird structure that you're not really prepared for unless you played Higurashi.
Yeah, like I don't think I can possibly overstate my utter confusion the moment that Canon died, because he was the first gouged Twilight, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the moment that happened, I was like, what?
Actually, that's not true. Well, he was
Kinzo supposedly was.
I mean, he was the first gouged Twilight that was seen, but there are also stakes in Avery and Hideyoshi's heads. So, to be fair, there were stakes earlier, but yes.
Well, no. The point is more that I wasn't expecting another Twilight to happen on that day.
Ah, right, of course.
So the moment that Canon went in there and got fucking wrecked, I was like, my confidence of what was happening in the story was immediately shattered.
Sweet baby Canon. Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy.
I think the other thing to talk about...
The tea party.
Yeah, the tea party, the moment we got into that, I was so lost.
Yeah, it was like 10 p.m. You were hopped up on tea and good dreams, and we just got wrecked by Beatrice.
That was absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, EP1's tea party is maybe my favorite moment of like the entire game. It's
I feel like
fucking great.
You went in and the first thing I think you said was like, this is like Higurashi's tea parties. They sit down and like their actors talk about these things.
Yeah.
And then suddenly all of the actors started dying and I'm like, oh god, what the hell is going on?
You've been lied to. Oh shit.
So that was really confusing to me, and I think my confusion is still not gone. I'm still not entirely clear on how that works.
Still very confused and don't really know what's going on and haven't solved anything yet, really.
It's true. But I think for anyone who's experiencing this for the first time, don't dwell too much on the fact that, like, your expectations of the Twilights being on separate days were shattered, or that, like, you were thinking this thing or that thing, because a lot of that was what got me stuck. Because, like, when I was... Part of the reason, like, when we're in Kinzo's study and, like, the final part that we uploaded of the pre-tea party episodes. Yeah. I was in there and I was, like, doing really quiet performances of Jessica and Battler because I just was so consumed by thought of
I was wondering. I was like, there is a lot more emotion in this scene than is happening right now.
Yeah, I was, like, so deadpan because I was just so goddamn confused. And... all of that pent-up tension was then very clearly demonstrated in the phone call. Yeah. Which I think I'll insert a clip here now. We all held our breaths trying to figure out who the person on the other end of the phone was. But for a while, Aunt Natsumi kept saying hello. A silent phone call. There's no way Maria and the others would do something so creepy. Which means, could this phone call possibly really be? Natsumi stopped repeating hello and straightened her ears. Because she thought she heard something far away in the other end of the receiver.
You okay there?
But what was that?
Calm yourself. Huh? Is someone singing?
So you can see there how all of that tension was suddenly like, oh god, this is coming.
You just could not handle it.
I'm too much.
You were done.
But yeah, I think certainly as we go further on, I've become more comfortable with just like not thinking about things too hard in the moment and taking more time to reflect on them, because that was kind of like bogging down performances. And I think you should go into it like I went in. I'm pretty sure I say at the end of like the tea party or whatever, I was like, I went in expecting nothing, and yet my expectations were shattered.
Yep.
I think the problem is that the novel tries very hard to build up expectations, and I think it does it quite effectively, and then just destroys them.
Yep. You got to adapt. These rules that we're playing by are not the same that you might be expecting. That's kind of the way that this game rolls. The episodes gradually.
And then
being a bit weirder.
And then this is definitely spoilery. But my culprit theory at the end, I said I reckon Kairee and Rudolph were the most likely culprits.
Yep.
But then I said I reckon Rosa was the culprit.
Okay.
Because I think my thinking at the time, though I'm not sure if I explicitly said it, was I think that Kairee and Rudolph are meant to be misleading from who the actual culprit is.
You think so?
I think that's still the case.
Okay.
I think maybe they are meant to be misleading. And we're definitely getting into spoilers here, so sirens, here we go again.
Yeah, don't continue. It'd be 3 endings, spoilers, nerds.
But
Corporate theory time, real talk, let's go.
I think I was correct in assuming that Kairee and Rudolph were meant to be misdirecting.
Okay.
But I think they were I assumed the misdirection was onto the wrong person. I assumed too simply that the fact that their faces were like half smashed on Kraus and Shannon, I assumed that was too solid of evidence to go against.
Okay.
I neglected to think that there are other ways to work around that. So maybe in some way they are actually tied into the murder.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, as much as I've said spoilers, I'm still going to keep light on what I think there. But definitely...
keeping your eye on those two.
I think that despite what I said, like, I've been going through and I'm like, I'm not discounting anything, but I'm discounting these things.
Yeah.
I think it's time to remove the but, because I'm not discounting anything, motherfucker. This case is wide open again.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is a slightly longer video than maybe we were expecting to do, but I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed episode 1. I hope you're excited for episode 2, because things only get better.
Yay!
Both for us and for the book.
Time for more murder.
Oh
Woo!
my god, I'm so excited. We will see you in episode 2.
What a fun mystery novel.
What a fun attempt on my life.